Buddy, are you ready? Go! That's it? That's all you're gonna give them? One more time. Go! And good morning, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you could join us today. So you remember in the last video when I told you I was doing all these projects for Alicia, and I was doing them because it's winter time and landscaping is not a great business in the winter time. Well, guess what happened in the last 4 or 5 days? Winter left and we're now full on landscaping. So you know what that means? It means I am very, very busy. How busy am I? Well, it's almost noon on Saturday and I still have not filmed a video for you guys for tomorrow morning. And that's because I've been busy. Alicia's been busy. We're all so busy. So you know what that means for you guys today? I have nothing to show you. I'm not going to build anything. I'm not going to do any sort of adventure or show you anything cool. We are going to take this time to answer some of the questions that we've been getting over and over and over on the channel on our videos. Also, remember how I ended the last video? I said I was about to call the landscaping guy to come clean this up. I promise you guys, we did. We cleaned it up. Alicia helped too. She can vouch. So normally my yard, when it's normal, it takes about 45 minutes. We spent almost 4 hours getting rid of all these leaves. Only for a storm to come that night, and we woke up to a yard that looked like we did nothing. So I'm glad I didn't pay the guy because he really didn't do a great job. See, look at this. The wind's blowing and they're just raining out still. We've had like 4 or 5 winter summer transitions in the last couple months, and every time they do, these oak trees are like, well, let's drop them, boys. Drop them all. We'll grow them again next week. Yeah, it's happening one more time because we have another storm coming and we're gonna have a little dip in cold front, but not terribly cold. But then hopefully we can officially say spring is here because I think it's only dropping to the 40s for like one night. And then we're starting to see 80s and 90s. So spring is coming. My workload proves that spring is coming. Also, I'm not so sure like why there's a giant pile of leaves here. That's how busy I've been that I didn't know there was a pile of leaves in my yard. I don't know what Alicia was doing. Maybe she was making the kids rake it up to burn some energy. So let's give you a little update on our planters because I know y'all came here for some riveting planting content. So far, everything looks to be growing pretty good. Well, no, it's growing good. It's not dying, so that's a plus. Even our broccoli, which we were worried about, it's doing good. These all of our plants that we planted from seeds, we have, oh, look at that. We have one. Hopefully that's not a weed, but look at that. They're starting to grow. And because it's raining so much, we actually thought they were gonna not survive because of the rain. And we actually have rain today again, which is why I have a moment to make this video because I'm so busy. If it wasn't raining, we're working 7 days a week now. And it's one of those things. When the getting's good, you gotta get it because it's the time of year when everyone needs something done, and we'll go out of our ways to make sure we can get there and do it. Also, more about the planters. Several people said, why did you put them over here and you can't water them? Actually, we can water them. We can water them 2 ways. There's a faucet right there on that fence post, and there's a faucet right there on that barn. They're still covered up for winter because, well, it hasn't stopped raining enough to need to water them ourselves. But soon, we'll have 2 choices, right there and right there, for water. Y'all may wonder why the barn is halfway pressure washed. Well, this was me working on my machine the other day. So my pressure washer was having problems. And I was out here, I mean, Alicia had the flashlight out. I was out here pressure washing something because I had to figure out what was going on with the motor. So that's why it's halfway done, because this was done at like 10 o'clock at night. And the only way to see the problem is you had to be spraying the pressure washer to get it to act up. Turns out we had a problem with the carburetor. We fixed it. We were good to go, but that's why only half my building's done, because at 9:30 at night I was pressure washing it just to load the motor down so I could see what was going on with it. I'll probably have to come back and do that, but this job doesn't pay very well, so it's at the end of the list. Do y'all want to see the epic view? Don't mind the leaves. Don't mind the leaves, but look at the epic view. Still pretty epic. So the next thing I want to talk about is a lot of you guys may have noticed that we are doing shorts on this channel, and we get a lot of confusion and a lot of comments that let me know that maybe some of you guys don't understand the purpose of shorts. So if you don't know anything about us, we used to be a full-time RV traveling family channel, and we've been here in this house now for 1 year. So if you found us in the last year, some of the shorts may not make sense to you because you don't understand why you've been watching us do house things and now you're seeing these shorts on RVs. And if you're from the past and you know us as the RV traveling channel and you've been watching us in the house for a year, seeing the shorts probably doesn't make very much sense to you as well, because several people think that we're getting back in an RV. They thought that that was our new RV. Some people thought that Alicia was pregnant again, because in some of the clips she actually is pregnant. It's actually way simpler than that. YouTube, if you don't know, really wants people to do shorts, and they've been pushing shorts for probably a year and a half. Like, they want you to do shorts because Facebook, Instagram, TikTok all do shorts, whereas YouTube is primarily a long form type of content. Well, YouTube wants to compete, so they start pushing the idea of people doing shorts, and we resist it because, well, it's basically, it's an editing thing. So like YouTube, we film everything like this because long form content is sideways. Shorts have to be like this. We don't film like this. So in the past, when I made a short or two, I had to go in and learn how to be an actual editor and take my horizontal clips and reformat them to fit into a vertical screen. It was one of those things I had to watch a YouTube video and had to change the settings in my editing software, and it basically, it was a lot of work for not a lot of return. So we just said, we're not doing it. We're not gonna put all this effort to do something that's really not, it's not what we do. We don't do shorts, we do long form. Well, this program came out, one of these AI programs where you pay like $30 a month, you take your YouTube video and drop it in there, and it spits out 30, 40 shorts out of one video. So we decided to try it out. And in case you don't know what YouTube is like, YouTube is not a game of today, it's a game of the long run. So it's about averages. So in order to find out if shorts actually work for us, you can't just do it one time. You have to do it consistently for a long period of time. So we decided we're gonna do them every single day for 2 months before we make the decision, is it worth our time? Turns out it is worth our time. It's worth our time because it is improving the channel. We're getting more views, more subscribers, more engagement from our viewers. And so ultimately, shorts are great for our channel. The only problem is I'm not using current videos because since we're paying money to have this program for our little trial time, I wanted to make sure I was gonna give it the best chance of success. So I simply just sorted our videos, our long videos, from most popular to least popular, meaning the most views to least views. And I'm just going down the list. The one with the most views went first, and I go so forth and so on until I get down to where we decide we're gonna keep doing this. So for right now, yes, you're gonna be seeing tons of RV content because, well, that's a YouTube thing. I could get into it. Actually, I'm gonna get into it just a little bit. See, YouTube wants to box you in. In case you don't know this, if you don't make videos, YouTube is very complicated, but it's not really that complicated at all. YouTube wants to box you in and make you this little package right here that can sell to people or try to provide this package to an audience. So when we started making videos, you actually don't know what kind of videos you're gonna make. So you just make whatever, you make random things, right? You're over here on this subject and you're over here on this subject, you're all over the place. And then one day something sticks. Well, it's a blessing and a curse when that something sticks, because whatever your most popular videos are is the channel subject the algorithm wants you to be. So for us, even though we've made all kinds of videos, our most popular videos, and it's not by accident, well, it's not by accident now, it was by accident when it started. Our most popular video is us getting kicked out of our RV park. We actually hadn't made a single YouTube video when we made that one, so we didn't know what we were doing, and it just worked out. And then all the rest of our videos are some sort of problem or something inconvenient that happened with the RV. So a breakdown, damage, a big problem, anything that was like a big deal, like the roof falling off, the bottom falling off, the hitch messing up. So all those videos did really well, which is awesome, but also not awesome, because the algorithm sees all this and now it thinks that we are a RV problem and getting kicked out channel. So that's why you guys might have noticed over the years we started making content like that, because we know that's what works. Not necessarily do we ever have problems, but we bunch them up and use them to our advantage. And that's because YouTube does not want you to make videos about everything. They want to find out what you are, and they want you to make the same video over and over and over again. And we knew when we got this house right here and we stopped traveling that the algorithm and some of the audience was not going to like the shift, the new direction. So for the past year that we've been filming this house right here, the algorithm has not liked us very much, because it wants us to make RV travel and RV problem videos. And that's just not the case anymore. And we knew going into that it was going to be basically the death of our channel by switching subjects cold turkey. Like overnight, we went from being an RV channel to non-RV channel. But because we like making videos so much, and we have some sponsors that are working with us, and we just like the whole process of sharing our lives, because it's not just for you guys, it's for us in the future and our family, so we have these memories. But since we started doing this, our channel has pretty much, it was doing this and it went whoop, flatlined. So for the last year, we haven't gone up and we haven't gone down. We've just been neutral, which is terrible for a channel, because you're not growing. Although we're not shrinking, we were not growing. Since we started doing the shorts, our channel is back on the rise. Now, we aren't doing RV content. We're not getting a new RV. Actually, I'll tell you right now, I'm not even sure I would take an RV if someone gave it to me for free, because, well, frankly, that was a fun adventure. But now, after being in the house for a year, there's no way we could take those 3 feral animals with us on the road. And I'm not talking about Buddy. I'm talking about my 3 kids. They were excellent RVers, but since we've been in this house for 1 year, they have learned to spread their wings. They are crazy, they're full of energy, and frankly, they would probably do an amazing job of traveling, but I don't think the RV would survive 1 year with as crazy as our kids are, because they are full of energy, they're rough, and they're always at 100% every single day. So no, we are not getting in the RV. We don't plan to get in the RV. In the future, we might get one to maybe go on small trips. But then again, we really enjoy the idea of the Airbnbs, because that was really awesome, because we could travel and we had a house when we got there. So yeah, in the longest answer ever, that's why we're doing shorts. It's not because we're getting back into RVing. It's really just a simple thing of we're doing what YouTube is pushing, because we wanted to see if it helped the channel, and it in fact did help the channel. Now gradually I'm gonna start pushing our newer videos, but for right now we're still sort of in our experimental phase, where I'm just gonna use the most popular ones to give it the best chance to see how it's gonna do. Now I understand doing RV content kind of pulls us back towards the RV space. Well, it's hard to break that. Like, it does not matter what content I do, my algorithm wants me to be an RV channel, and the only way to fix it would be to delete all the old videos. And we're simply not going to do that, because that is our channel. We want people to know the whole history. So that being said, we're going to keep plugging away and making videos about our life and our house, our business, and everything here. And maybe one day the algorithm will finally say, man, these people are just normal everyday life people filming their lives. They're not an RV travel channel. And then maybe it'll start pushing us to the people who think that is cool as well. Because right now we get some comments from people that know us from the RV days, and frankly they're not very nice, because they don't understand why we're not filming RV stuff, because they think that we're employed by YouTube and that our job is to make RV content. They don't understand that we just make videos and upload them. Like, we're not employed by YouTube to make a specific genre. Just because you found us that way doesn't mean that's what we have to do. So I think that's funny, because people are like, why are you filming the house? Get back to RVing. That's what I found you for. That's what you need to keep doing. It doesn't work that way. All right, enough about YouTube and the world's longest answer about nothing at all. So the next update, people keep asking, why have we not done the kitchen? Why aren't you doing the kitchen? Well, that could be a long answer too, and I promise I'm gonna keep it short. The number one reason we haven't done the kitchen is because the kitchen's very expensive. But it's not just the kitchen. So the kitchen is like 15 or 16 grand. That's not the problem. The problem is that house was built in 1960. And you can't just do the kitchen. You gotta do other things, because there's a lot of things they did in the 60s and all the renovations they did between now and then that aren't really good for just throwing a kitchen in there. So in order to do the kitchen, we need to go ahead and redo the kitchen and living room, because there's issues with the sheetrock, there's issues with where the electrical outlets are, there's issues with where the light switches are, there's issues with the light fixtures and everything that's hanging, nothing lines up. There's issues with the air ducting, they all need to be moved around. And also we decided, because the floor that's in it now is just a peel and stick floor, it's not real floor, that if we do the kitchen, we should do the floors at the same time. So instead of just doing the kitchen, it's a much bigger project than the kitchen. It's the kitchen, it's floors, it's re-sheetrocking and moving things around, it's painting, it's the whole thing. So it's not just 16 grand, it's probably more like 30 to 35 grand, because if you're gonna spend 16 grand on a new kitchen, you want the whole space to match, not just have an awesome kitchen and a really old rest of the house. So that's why we haven't done the kitchen, because it's not so simple as just throwing a kitchen in there. So the thing is, we want to do it right. And to do it right in this situation, you just want to do one thing, but you have to do 4 or 5 steps before that to make sure that one thing turns out good. And that's honestly why there's a lot of things around this house that you've seen that we're not doing as well. Like this shop right here. So our house came with this shop right here. It's an okay shop. It's awesome to have, but it's not a very good shop. It's not a great shop. So originally, this was the little house that went with that house. Whenever they decided to add on, they built this building right here hooked to that. Now this building's fine, but it's not great. And that's why we haven't done anything with it, because the more we look, the more we realize it could be cheaper to maybe bulldoze this thing and start over, because we've been looking at it and I had to do some research. You see this right here at the bottom? There is supposed to be a piece of flashing that comes out and goes over, so that water, when it rains, does not go inside the building. Well, guess what happens here when it rains? Water goes inside the building. Water also runs down into that little groove right there where those leaves are, into the windows, and water leaks out inside the building in the windows. So every single window, the bottom of the walls, the doors aren't even the right doors, right? So those leak too. Also, there's not a window there. This door is not right. This door, it's like 50% right. It wasn't done very well. This right here, y'all wanna see this wall right here? Watch this. They didn't even bolt that to the floor right there. And you can see all the way around, still none of that flashing. Another door that's not the right door. And what I mean by that is they just put 2x4s in there and put a door in that doesn't fit the space. It's not sealed at all. And then it doesn't have the trim, doesn't have gutters, doesn't have anything. So yeah, the more we look, the more we go, man, there's so much work here that to fix it is getting close to the cost of a new one. Actually, it's getting close to the cost of like the shop we actually want. Also, several people had asked, why don't you fill in the concrete here so you can drive in? Yeah, when it rains here, guess which way the water goes? And we know why they didn't put it there. Because the water runs right through here to get out. So if we build a ramp up here or make this different, well then the water, well, it'll probably run through here some way, but it's gonna move somewhere. So that brings up another point. We need to address the drainage, which means we need to fix all this gutters and direct the water the way we want to go. That's why we haven't done anything, because just like the kitchen, whoa, apparently my kids have been here drawing. So just like the kitchen, I just want to do one thing, make this place awesome, but it's going to require like 14 steps to get this one box checked. You can see right there where they joined the two buildings together. They didn't do a good enough job, because you can see that there's actually water coming in right there. So we need to address that. Also, they were in such a rush to the spray foam that they didn't tuck the wires into the wall. Like that wire is just drooping across. Can y'all see it? And they just spray foamed it. So in order to do it right, you gotta start over. You gotta strip it back down and fix all the problems on like the foundation of the building before you make it a building. Like this place could be super cool. Like it could be very unique. We could make it work. But at the same time, it's gonna start to get to where it's so expensive to make it work. Why not just start over and build the shop you want? Because we've talked about it. Like when you walk over here to the corner of our property line actually is not where that fence is. It goes back much further. We've talked about building a actual shop the way we want it in that corner, because the cost to fix this after a while starts to equate the cost of building a brand new one exactly the way you want. And then you could do the foundation and everything right, the drainage right, the electrical right, everything could be right. That way you don't have to fix it again because you did it right the first time. Also, I would love to have all the electrical lines in the ground. I don't like them being above ground because they're just everywhere. But yeah, that's why we haven't done the shop, because it's fine for what we're using it for, but for us to love it, it's almost better to start over. Would you guys like another update on a project that we're not doing, but several of you have pointed out? Y'all see this landscaping here? I planted this last year because I ripped it out of somebody else's yard and they were gonna throw it away, so I made use of it. And people kept saying, are you gonna do flower beds? Are you gonna do any more landscaping? The answer is not yet. And that's because, like everything else that I've talked about, it's not as simple as just throwing landscaping down and calling it good. There's other problems, because this house was built in the 60s, we need to address. Like drainage. You see right here, this hole? This holds water when it rains. Later today, this will be a pond. You can see they have a French drain right there and a French drain right there, and it gets it out there to that field. And this is fine, it helps drain it, but the problem is we don't have gutters. So if we put landscaping and mulch and all that, this place gets flooded. And the only real way to fix it, just like the shop, drainage problems, is you need to address the drainage. You need to get gutters and get everything in the ground around the house out of the way. Well, gutters are expensive, but it's not just that. Before we put gutters on, we don't like this vinyl soffit right here. We want to change that up, right? So in order to put gutters on, we need to go ahead and do this. And when we do that, we want to add can lights and make the house awesome, because why spend money on something you don't want when you can spend a little more money and make it exactly the way you want? So in order to fix drainage, we actually have to work on the house, because we want to get the soffits done, get gutters done, get lighting installed, do some changes right there before we spend a bunch of money right here that's just going to wash away as soon as it rains. They never told you this. I mean, some of y'all may know, but I didn't know that when you buy a house so old, something so simple as just putting gutters up, or literally anything we want to do here, something so simple can be so hard to do, because you realize to do it right, it has to be done a certain way. And that's probably why the house is the way it is, because you can tell over the years, people have done remods and things to it, and they did what worked for right then, not for the future. And we don't want to do that, because we know in the future we will be doing more to this. So it only serves us good right now if we do things the right way to this house, and not just do them the right way to do it for today to check that box. What do you guys think about that? Would you go ahead and just do one or two things to say you got it done, knowing that in the future you may have jumped the gun and had to do rework or take things apart to fix it the right way? See, I hate going back to fix things the right way whenever I was there already and could have done it the right way to begin with. So that's why we haven't done anything to the landscaping yet, because, well, it's not just simple as one thing. It's 14 or 15 things that need to take place in order to set us up for the best success in the future. And speaking of the house, me and Alicia have actually been talking a lot lately about the house. And it came down to one thing. Is this our forever home? Probably not. Is this our for right now and probably for a future home? Absolutely. It is probably our home for the foreseeable future. Like, we've made the decision. We'll probably live here until our kids get out of high school, which is quite a long time. It's probably 16 to 18 years that we will live in this house. So that's why when we do things, we want to do it the right way, because it's not just a house that we're passing through and just living in. It's going to be our home for our kids' entire school life. Like, they're gonna grow up here in this home. So that's why when we do things, we wanna do it right. We wanna do it the best we can. But me and Alicia also talked about the fact that, is this our forever home? Maybe, but most likely not. Most likely, this is not our last home. But it's a very good home for us to grow our family in and to experience life. At the same time, I joked, if I won the lottery, would I live here tomorrow? The answer is no. Actually, I would live here. I would live here until I got done building our dream home. But that's probably not gonna happen because I don't play the lottery. So unless I have a super rich relative that I have no idea exists, will me some money, this is probably gonna be our home for the next 2 decades. And that's why we're taking our time and trying to plan our money, because we want to get the most value out of everything we do. Because I don't know if you guys know this, things are so expensive. And sometimes you just want to do something very simple. It becomes a very expensive ordeal. Speaking of pressure washing, I need to call that guy back. There's a whole section up there he needs to get to. I probably really need to do that. But have I told you how busy I am? And this house does not pay very good at all. They actually have never paid me for any of the work I do here. But they keep asking for work, and I keep showing up because it's the right thing to do, but they are so overdue on their invoices. They've actually never paid an invoice at all. So I just told you about all the things that we want to do, but we're not doing. And you're probably going, well, then if you're not doing all those things, what are you doing? Well, right now, we're living life. I told you our business is booming. We are very busy. The kids are in school, they're in activities. We have church. We're doing all the things you do that we didn't do on the road because we were always traveling. Now that we're not traveling, we're settling into home life, and well, it's very busy. Alicia is in full mom mode. She stays gone all the time. Basically, her little mom wagon, well, it's a mom wagon. She's always going and taking the kids here and there. They have all kinds of things they're doing. So yeah, right now, we're very busy. And we're actually loving it because busy is better than not busy. But at the same time, it makes it hard to get our fun stuff done because we're busy doing life stuff. I don't normally like to make videos like this. I call these talking head videos where I just walk around and talk to you about things. But I think it's important because some of you guys have been here for a long time. And I think it's important to talk to you guys because sometimes when I reply in a comment, you may read it, but no one else reads it. So then the same thing keeps getting asked over and over and over again. And sometimes you can't tell the context of the comment because I'm trying to express the answer in the fewest amount of words because I'm trying to answer so many comments. So yeah, I think it's cool to talk to you guys, have a conversation, let you know what's going on. And that normally I don't like to do these types of videos. I like to show you things, do things, take you places, some sort of adventure. And you'll see, I've been busy. If you go watch the other channel today, I was building a fence. Well, I've been busy every single day this week, and next week's not looking any better, but I promise, next week, I'm gonna try to make you guys a video where I show you something and not just talk to you. But if I don't, that means it was a great week for cutting edge. And it's already stacking up to be if this rain would just hold off. Like, it's starting to sprinkle right now, and I could go mow some yards today, but I know 100% if I hook that trailer to that truck, as soon as I pull out of the driveway, it's gonna start pouring. The rain's coming. I could probably mow right now, but by the time I got there, it would be raining. So today's my day off to do a whole bunch of things for Alicia because, well, without the rain, she's not getting anything done in that house that she needs done for at least the next 2 weeks because that's how booked up we are. So anyway, guys, I've got to go hang some pictures and some mirrors in the house and whatever else Alicia needs me to do for the day. Thanks for watching. We love you, and we'll see you in the next one.